Hello everybody, today we are going to change out the rear brake pads on my Ford F-150 4x4. It's a 2006. Yesterday I could hear them kind of grinding. Sounds like metal on metal. Probably let it go a little too far, but I'm going to take that tire off and switch them out. Alright, we got that tire off. I will apologize for the background sound. My neighbor started cutting his grass, so you will hear that. But here is the brake pads, or what's left of them. This is your caliper that squeezes the brakes, and here is your brake rotor. Sometimes if it's scarred up too much, you can see it got scarred from the pad that wore down, but it's not too bad. It'll be all right. But if it's too bad, you will have to replace that. So I am going to remove the caliper from, there's a bolt here and a bolt on the bottom. Those are 10 millimeters. Should be able to take them off and then pop the caliper off. So I pulled the caliper off. Right here's the caliper, and here's the brake pads. As you can see, there's nothing on them compared to the new ones I got. That's how thick they should be. However, not surprised, but not what I wanted either. Caliper's bad. The cylinder won't push in to make enough room for the new brakes. So normally you can take a clamp and push those back to fit the new brakes in. However, this will not slide back. I tried pushing it, it just won't go. And when that happens, that means you got a bad caliper. So I'm gonna have to go get a new caliper. Stay tuned. All right, back from the store, picked up the new caliper. As you can see, the arm is pushed in. That way the new brake pads will sit in there. One thing to show you with the old one, we will have to disconnect this brake line, which there's a bolt right there. That is a 14 millimeter. We will disconnect that, and some fluid will leak out when we take it apart. I did pick up some .3 brake fluid. You will have to pick that up because you'll have to bleed your brakes and pump it so it tightens back up. But we'll show you that when we get to it. All right, here we go. Disconnecting the old caliper and putting a new one back on. All right, we put the new caliper on and hook the brake line back up to it. Lost some brake fluid out of the old caliper because it's filled up. That's what I was talking about. You'll have to bleed the brakes to fill the new caliper back up with brake fluid. Put the old caliper back in the box because it has a core charge, so I'll have to return that so I can get some money back. Now we'll put the new brakes on. You can see the padding in the old brake, padding in the new brake compared to the old brake. Big difference. This is the inside one with the claws that will fit in that arm, and you've got to make sure, now this will be opposite, but that you line up with the disc, so it'll be facing this way on the inside. And then we will put the new outside one that has these clips that will pop back on, and once I get those on, I will show you. Pads are in, calipers on. The new pads did come with new arm covers right here, but you simply, once you get the pads in the caliper, this is notched, you'll set that first and then you'll just pop it in. Here's a compression spring that locks it in. Put the bolts in. Now all I got to do is tighten them up. We have bled the brakes and everything is working properly. Now this is where we bled the brakes from. If you have a bleeder tool, you can pop that on and and pump actually brake fluid into it. I do not have that. So I did it the other way. You loosen this nut up, which is a 10 millimeter, and then you pump the brakes and brake fluid will fill the caliper up and then shoot out. And once you get it to where it's shooting out, then you tighten it back up and press your brakes to make sure they are hard. And if they are, then you filled it up and you are good to go. All right, now we'll put the wheel back on and she is ready to go. And then we'll do the other side and see if that caliper needs replaced as well.